Hi there, computer animation first year students. This is a video I'm going to be creating to explain to you how to use shape keys and how we're going to use shape keys to try and create emotions on a monkey face. So your assignment will involve you creating 3 separate emotions for the monkey. So let's take a look at how we do this. I'm just going to share my screen here so you can see my Blender file. So in Blender, as normal, what we want to do is we want to always go into orthographic view. So we're going to have to press the number 5 on the keyboard so we get into orthographic view. I'm going to also go into front view, so press number 1, and then I'm going to press delete on the cube. So I'm going to delete out the cube, and I'm just going to shift C, so I'm right smack in the center. It doesn't have to be, but just so we kind of are working from the same spot all the time. And then I'm going to add a mesh monkey. Now, just to make it look a little nicer, I'm object mode here. I will just click on smooth to just smooth out its face a bit. So basically what we have here right now is we have obviously a monkey, and we're probably fairly familiar with the look of this monkey right now. And what we would like to do is we'd like to use shape keys to make this monkey look either happy or sad or possibly scared or nervous, whatever. Now what you need to think about is that when we're doing an animation, you have to consider what characteristics, what parts, what features of the face would indicate to somebody an emotion. So with a monkey, unlike a human, you might also involve the ears, but certainly with a human, you would also involve the mouth, you would involve like the eyes, and potentially you would even have the cheeks go up or down, but definitely the eyes and the mouth have a great part of expressing how someone is feeling. So let's take a look at how we would do this now. So what we need to do here is we need to basically go over here in object mode to object data. So that's the button just to the left of the material button there. That's the object data. And in here, there is a whole bunch of features that relate to the object that we have selected, which in this case is the monkey. But right now, we want to go down to shape keys here, and we would like to click on plus. Now that first plus does not actually add the shape key. It's the second plus where you see this word key in there, that adds the actual shape key. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on that key 1 name there, and I'm just going to change it and call it, let's say, happy. And so what I can do then is I can click away. And now what I am is in object mode. I have added a shape key. And at this point here, in order for me to record or to create whatever other features I want on this face, I need to go into edit mode. And basically what's happening is when you create a shape key, it just keeps the original looking object, and then whatever you do between when you go to object mode to edit mode, it will record those changes. So I'm going to now go into edit mode. And now in edit mode, a couple of things I may want to do. One is I might want to focus on the face, or sorry, on the mouth, and I might want to try and make this mouth look more open and up. So one of the things that I can do to do that possibly is I might want to try turning on proportional editing. So in edit mode, I choose enable here, and then I might want to use the smooth option to control this. And then remember, you press the letter G and you scroll wheel the circle in so you can kind of control what part's going to be affected. I can pull this face quite wide, and I'm just going to kind of pull that part of the mouth this way, and I am going to click over here now with the right button of my mouse and press letter G and pull this over here. So what this enables me to do is very quickly I can sort of move these parts of the mouth and sort of control that. And so what I would like to do is I would really like to, and once again with animation, what we generally want to do is we want to really emphasize it. So a normal person's probably not going to have a mouth that is this wide and this like open, but you can certainly do that. And so you basically are sort of turning this and making this, you know, look very much open and smiley. And now if you want to, you could turn the proportional editing off. You could disable this, and then you could specifically pull different points how you want. So you could be very precise with this, or you can use the proportional editor and try and be very quick sort of with your movements as well. So it's kind of your call as to how you want to do that. So once again, though, you can move these points up. So someone is looking very smiley and wide open mouth. Now that's one part of looking happy, but another part would probably be that the eyes would kind of lift up a bit. Like, so I'm happy. So if you see this, I'm happy. My eyes kind of go bigger. My eyebrows go up a little bit. So what I could do here is I could go into face selection as well. And rather than using proportional editing, I could do this as well. So I could shift click on all of the parts of the eyebrow of this monkey. And I could just literally pull it up. So I could, just missed that piece there. So I could literally just pull this up if I wanted to too. So I could raise this up. And another thing we could do is we could A to deselect that, and I could circle select my eyes itself. And I could even, if I press escape here to deselect, and I'm just going to go to side view so we can sort of see this. I could even sort of pull these out a bit and sort of bug them out a bit so that they become a little bigger. And so what we have here right now is in front view, we sort of have it looking like this. Now the last thing we could do, now this probably isn't the case with a human, but what we could do is we could also possibly turn on proportional editor again and have my vertice selection on. So I'm going to enable my proportional editor and have it on smooth. And I could potentially G and sort of pull this up, and I could just raise my ears up a little bit so that they become bigger. So that basically what I have here is a very, you know, exaggerated look of happiness. Now, I've done all of this in edit mode, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into object mode. And what we see when we come back in here is we see a completely normal monkey. Nothing has changed. But what we have done is that there's a value slider here on the shape key, and if I move this value slider, what you will see is as I move it to 1, we're going to see the whole drama of what I have done, the change in the face, and then I can slide it back and slide it forward. So that's how I would create an initial shape key. Now, if I wanted to, I could create another secondary shape key, and I could possibly call this sad. And so if I press the enter key on that, and then once again, to activate or to record the change between the normal face and the sad face, I need to then go into edit mode. And so in here, how would I record a sad face? Well, once again, we would probably want to turn our mouth down as opposed to up this time. So we want to kind of take these points, and if we were to use the proportional editor and circle select so it's a little bit down, we can kind of pull this down, and we can pull this down so it's looking kind of frownish. And we could even, if we wanted to, turn the proportional editing off, and we could, like I said, start to pull individual parts of this and start to really sort of turn this face down so it's looking sort of sad as opposed to happy. So once again, you have to decide. And then likewise, we could, and we'll just keep the proportional editor on here for a second, but we could try and basically take the eyebrows as well. So we could take these eyebrows and we could sort of pull and make this bigger. We can pull this sort of down so it's, so it's sort of drooping. And then likewise here we could take this and we could droop this down. So it's sort of like kind of like frowning, like with the eyes as well. And then obviously with the monkey as well, we can take the ears and we could flop them right down. So we could fold them over and sort of have them come sort of down. And so now it looks sad. And so when we come back into object mode, what we're going to see with this value slider is that this is a sad looking monkey as opposed to the happy looking monkey. Now, the question is that we've got these shape keys created, but how are we going to actually animate this? So if you remember when we had the bones, we went into a special mode, pose mode, to do that. How do we do the shape keys? Well, the shape keys involve us using what's called a shape key editor. And so the way we access that is basically we need to go into Dope Sheet. And so one of the ways that we can do that is we could choose an animation screen instead of the default screen. And what this is going to do is it's going to kind of create a different looking organization to our screen. But when we have animation on, what we do see is that we have a separate screen here for the Dope Sheet. And so over here is our 3D view window. So if I were to go and go into front view and also go into orthographic view, I will see what my monkey looks like. Now over here where it says Dope Sheet, if I click on this, I see that there is a shape key editor. So in there, I can see my happy and my sad shape keys. So what I need to do here is at frame 1, what I need to do is I need to set the happy at 0. So what I do is I simply go into happy where it's 0 and I press the enter key. So that sets a keyframe at 0 at frame 1 for the happy. And likewise, I'm going to actually set a sad keyframe of 0 at frame 1 as well. Now I'm going to go up to, let's say, frame 50. That's about 2 seconds. And I'm going to, at 50 frames, have my happy go to 1. And I'm going to keep my sad, though, at 0. So my sad will stay like basically normal. So that's my happy, my fully happy. And then I'm going to go back to go up to frame 100 now, and I'm going to bring my happy back to 0. And I'm going to put my sad at 0 as well. Now at frame 150 now, I want to then expose my sad face. So I'm going to go and I'm going to bring that to 1, and I'm going to set that. And I'll keep my happy, though, at 0. And so then I'm going to go back to frame 200, and I'm going to set this sad to 0. So once again, I want to bring it back to essentially normal each time after I've set it. So what I'm now looking at is I've got 200 frames of animation. The first 100 are essentially shifting it from normal to happy and then back to normal. And then the next 100 are shifting it from sad and then back to normal. So what we'll see here is if I go to start at frame 1 and we take a look at this face, what we'll see is it's going to shift to happy, and then it's going to shift back to normal, and then it's going to shift to sad, and then shift back to normal. Now, I'm not going to do the third emotion with you, but basically for this assignment, you have to do one additional emotion. So you can do happy and sad, but you can also do one more. So what were some of the other emotions we have? Like nervous, we have scared, and maybe what you might want to do is go onto the internet and even Google facial expressions for various emotions and see what parts of your face really express that the best, and then try and do that with the monkey to make it look as best as you can, that particular type of emotion. Hopefully that all makes sense. For this assignment, all I need to see is I don't need to see this fully rendered. I just need to see in this view here that when I run it from frame 1, that I will see those 3 emotions. And like I did here, I would probably suggest you use about 100 frames for each of the individual emotions. So your full thing should be about 300 frames. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to close this video now. Take care.